welcome to another video. I'm Sherry and this is the house next door. And in this video, the one that won, I didn't go back and check all the votes or all the likes on comments, but we're gonna go ahead and do how I designed my house from move-in until now. And I think I'm gonna end with a home tour because I know that was a request. So after we finish this series, I'll do a full house tour and you guys can see how it all looks present day. It's not finished because when is a design project really ever finished? For some context, we moved in October 2023. At the end of October, we moved into the house, and it is a 2-bed, 2-bath bungalow built in 1905, 1903, around there. It does have a completed attic space, which is where we're at right now. So I think to start, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna look at the walkthrough video that I took before we moved anything in. I'm with my son, and this when he was 3 years old. So I made a little Pinterest board for myself so that I can watch at the same time you guys are watching because I'm recording on my phone. What I'll do is for part 1, we're gonna go ahead and I'll show you what I did what I documented, because I didn't document every single thing. I wasn't doing YouTube back then, and so I didn't take as much footage as I wish I had, but we'll do what I did in October through December, so 2023. So let's start off with the house tour. Our front door is this primary yellow color, and when I first moved in, I actually hated the front door color and was going to repaint it because our landlord had given us permission to basically make any changes to the house. Aesthetically, we could do what we wanted, and so I was thinking I'd repaint the front door, but now I absolutely love the yellow door. Okay, walking in, you come into the living room immediately, and as you can see, everything was white, and you follow these stairs up into the attic. This room is the room we're in right now. All of the attic rooms have skylights. This is the main attic room, and then this is my son's now playroom. So those are the 3 spaces upstairs. Going downstairs, right off of the front door, like right when you come in through the front door, we went left into the living room and then up the stairs. If you just turn right, this is where the primary bedroom is. My husband and I, this is our bedroom, and the curtains were drawn, but very nice, beautiful big windows. This is the main bathroom, which is actually located off of the kitchen. I know the sequencing in this is a little bit hard to follow maybe, but the main bathroom is off of the kitchen. This is my son's bedroom, which is also off of the kitchen, and he's got his own bathroom because he was potty training when we moved in, and it was just easier for us. Then coming out of his bedroom, this is the kitchen space. I really love that big window in the kitchen. That was honestly one of the selling points. The 2 places I wanted windows was one in the kitchen by the sink and the other one in the bathroom. We didn't get a bathroom window, but it's okay. All right, going into the sunroom now. As you can see, the sunroom has these big, beautiful windows that look out into the backyard. That is where our laundry is, as well as my studio space for when I'm model making or like anything hands-on. I'm working back there. Okay, so let's go ahead, and this is actually move-in day, this next clip. I was already really inspired by this attic space. I thought cozy little TV room, and then we'll have my office up here for when I'm working, and we'll have the playroom. So those spaces were always in my head. Unfortunately, at this point, we only had the 1 couch, so I knew the orange couch wasn't going to stay up here, but it was just kind of fun for me to play around and see the different configurations I could get into this little nook. I don't think that I left the couch up there. I think we moved it down, but I just wanted you guys to see that was where my mind was. My husband made this little workbench because at our previous apartment, we had this huge island and we had bar stools. We didn't have a dining table. And he had made this wooden bench or wooden table for the garage at the apartment. We had our own garage on the first floor, so it was like garage, and then our apartment was on the second floor. He made this for the garage, but because we didn't have a table, we kind of, like, when we moved in, we used this as a table for a few weeks. And this was basically the state of the kitchen. The previous tenant left this dying plant on the right there that unfortunately I was not able to bring back to life. Here is a little tour of the kitchen, maybe like week 2. So yeah, mostly empty, things kind of like not where they belong. This little table holding all these little pieces, the workbench, we had our laundry basket in there. The only thing that we did have that we brought from the apartment was this runner, the checkered runner, and then my husband did put up these shelves pretty quickly for me. And then my plants just everywhere. I can't remember the name of the app, but it was basically an app where you used a LiDAR scanner to scan your room, and then you could go in and make design changes or whatever you wanted to do in the space. And so that's what I did. I scanned the kitchen to start. I wanted to play around with like color and tile and tables versus an island and all of that. Here is one of the first renditions I made. I thought it would be nice to have just a pantry wall, which was that teal green wall over there, and then maybe some fun diamond shape tile. Maybe we could replace the upper cabinetry with something a little bit lighter. Maybe put some shelving up. I would love a Smeg fridge. And then change out the lighting that was in there for a different pendant light. I did this other one I thought was fun. This one was more of like a color. I did add a little dinette nook with a round table and then a small island in the middle with some stools, a runner in there as well, and then some lighting, some artwork. Moving on, this was one of the big furniture pieces that I found at the thrift store for $25. And I was just like completely obsessed as soon as I saw it. We kept it for probably like almost 2 years, and then I sold it because I wanted to change things up. But I do miss this piece. It was such a beautiful piece. We kept all of our dishes in there, things like that, because we don't have a lot of drawer space in the kitchen. The first big change that I did was in my son's room. We decided to color drench it in green, and I'm still obsessed. I've never changed the color in there, or I've made changes to layout and stuff, but the color I think was a perfect choice for his room. His window faces west, so he gets really pretty afternoon lighting in there. This is how the hallway was looking, probably closer to Christmas because we have the Christmas lights up. We have this green chair there in the hallway, and then the mirror, a little gallery wall, and then I put up a shelf pretty quickly to put my plants up there. That runner I got from Etsy for our old apartment, and it just happened to fit perfectly in this entry hallway space in this house. Here's my husband building me those shelves. He did this pretty quickly, I think within like the first 2 weeks. And then he was just building a little spice rack holder so that I could see all the spices tiered instead of having to reach back and pick each one up. And I think that's it for what I was doing in the house at that time. I know not a lot of documentation of what was going on, so I thought I would show you guys some of the Pinterest inspiration I was looking at that time. I think we will start with my son's room because I think I had the most concrete idea of what I wanted in there. Here is the color I was going for. This one has a little bit more blue undertone. I feel it's a little bit more cool. I knew I wanted to color drench his room from the start. Here's something else. And I was also considering doing bunk beds for him for when his cousins come to visit or his friends sleep over, whatever it is. This is the idea. I really wanted the orange and that green color together. I love these old bed frames, but they're extremely hard to find. I've only seen one on Facebook and I was too late to get it. I did want to incorporate some stripes in his room. Here's another one from that time that I was looking at. So now let's go over, oh, my battery's gonna die. The other thing I've always loved is a gallery wall, just mismatched frames, different kinds of matting, different finishes. I knew from the moment that we moved in that I was gonna do a gallery wall. Let's jump over to the kitchen. Actually, let's do attic, because the attic I just was obsessed with from day one. This is probably what we started off as far as concept. I was obsessed with trying to get my hands on a Togo couch, which never happened, and I didn't want a replica. This is kind of what I wanted to my office to feel like, super girly and calming. And here's another picture that I was referencing a lot for the upstairs. I love this couch. I just think between the fabric, it looks like corduroy or something similar, and then the jute rug, the pattern going on. I wanted to bring some plants up here. I still want to do this with the curtains. This is kind of what I'm thinking as far as putting window treatments on these skylights. I have some curtains like this. I just haven't gotten to this project still. And then some type of built-in bed area for my son's playroom as extra guest room space. And then this is what I was looking for when I was looking at ideas for the main living space. I absolutely love this couch, and maybe I could find a fabric to redo the blue couch that we have, because it's a similar shape, I would say. The green color, as you can see, it ended up in my office, which is where we're at right now. So we did use a green color up here, and I love it. I love this green color. But these are ideas that I had very early on. Like, I wanted a bookshelf up here, some form of green, a couch, fun pattern mixing. Let's see. Oh, I remember being obsessed with this. I thought maybe Justin could build the base for the couch up here, and then I could make the cushions myself. And then here's another example of like what I was going for. You see the same couch again with a chrome accent chair, the bookshelf in the back to frame out the couch, and moody lighting up here. Oh yes, this one. I loved this color. It was either always going to be either something like this or the green color that we did. And I think the only reason we went with the green was because downstairs we've gone with more of this palette. So just to switch things up a little bit. Oh, here we go. I did use this color in this room in the closet. So I did try to incorporate that. The kitchen, yes. I love just thinking about fun ways to design for kitchen spaces. And so I end up pinning so much that I'm inspired by. So I was leaning more towards like a farmhouse cottage kitchen, which I think I kind of landed on, but maybe in a more modern way. I love this kind of table. So that was something I was looking at, and always a gallery wall in the kitchen. I was thinking a round table, and some of these bentwood chairs would be fun, but obviously a little bit bigger because we have 3 people living here. Something like this. So that hutch that I ended up thrifting was inspiration from my Pinterest board. Loved this round table paired with these green chairs. I actually searched for these chairs and I could not find something similar. I love this type of kitchen, just like old, and you've got the art over here, you've got these roller shades, the old brick, the big window with the plants, kind of like mismatched cabinetry. I love that look, but that's not what we had necessarily. Oh, here we go. So this table, I was obsessed in trying to find a circular table that had the leaves on each side that I could put in the kitchen, and I actually found one, and that was our table for until we got the one that we have now. That was kind of like what I was looking for when I was out thrifting and trying to find something to replace that wooden work table that we had. Another thing early on that I was looking for was some type of stool to put in the kitchen. Here I was mostly interested in this big gallery wall that they had, and then this hutch. This one actually looks similar to the one I thrifted. It's just painted. I always like open shelving. I don't have a ton of it in the kitchen anymore. I only have one open shelf right now, but I was really inspired by this open shelving with displaying all of your colorful findings. Here's more open shelving. You can tell I really like the open shelving, especially in odd positions like this one right above the doorway. This one's really cute too, and we have something like this now. You can see here, like, I'm just obsessed with the shelving. I did really want to find some vintage chairs that were not wooden. I was going more for this maybe schoolhouse look. I did thrift a chair that fit that aesthetic, but I just have one. I don't have four. But that was kind of what I was going for. A round table, open shelving, gallery wall, and then some type of hutch. Already starting off the findings pretty good, I think, because we found that hutch. That was a big inspiration as I continued to design the kitchen. I did have some inspiration for the hallway early on. This was my main one that I was like, I would love something like this. And it's just wall to ceiling bookshelf. Again, here, I love the built-in bookshelf in a hallway. I think that's the best way to give a hallway instant characters, by adding a bookshelf and filling it with your books and vinyls and magazines and whatever else. This is so fun. I would love a window on my stairwell. At some point in life, I have to have it. But I also love all of this big art that they've placed here. But primarily it was the built-in bookshelf obsession. And then of course the gallery wall, but this lighting, let's quickly do the studio space, because I always knew that was going to be my studio, and I'm still working on getting it to where I want it, but it is looking better. I wanted to have some type of built-in cubby space like this, because I wanted spaces to hold my models for architecture school when I'm done building them. And then this, I remember, is actually from this French girl, and she had a house tour, I think on Homeworthy, and if you haven't seen it, you should. I just loved how this little shelf brought so much character to her already beautiful gallery wall. I love the paintbrushes just out in the open. Here again, you see, just like, I love to have everything in the open and see all my little trinkets, especially in the studio. And then of course, just having all of my stuff pinned up, some sort of lamp, like architecture lamp like that, I was keeping my eye out for. We'll do laundry really quick, just because I do share that space with the washer and dryer. Not a lot of pins, because I'm not like super inspired by the laundry room, because we have a half wall in there that is just the devil's work. I hate that half wall. I was looking at this color because I love this color. I'm not anymore for the space, but for a laundry room, I think this shade is beautiful. It's romantic, and I always kind of knew I wanted to have some hidden storage space for like the vacuum, and then maybe have the washer and dryer exposed. I think it's fun to add some plants back there, since it is the sunroom. Right now, without window treatments, it just gets way too hot, and I tried putting my plants back there on day one, and I burned a bunch of the leaves, so I won't be doing that. That's where I was at from October to December. Well, really November, December, because we moved in during the week of Halloween. So it was like the last week of October. Part 2, we'll move on probably to just the first 6 months of 2024, and then we'll do the last 6 months. So we'll probably have a 5 or 6 part series, and then we'll end with a home tour. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I am going to New York this week, so I'm going to do the New York vlog, and then I also have a living room update video that I'm working on right now, so those two might be before part 2 of this series. Hope you guys have a wonderful and safe week, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.